Good day. The state television company of Western Armenia represents the most important news for today's broadcast. The newly elected president of the Republic of Western Armenia, Lydia Margosian, presented the one-year program of activities. The 13th issue of Western Armenia magazine was published. Armenia should be able to protect its sovereignty and its population. Ambassador of France. The presentation of photos taken by Japanese photojournalist Makio Matsumura in the corridor of Berdzor was organized in Tokyo. We and our surnames. The Armenian Legion, the dream of Kilikia, and the betrayal of the allied states. The destruction of Armenian culture and history. An event dedicated to the 105th anniversary of the Armenian Legion. On January 21, the session took place of the government of Western Armenia, chaired by the newly elected president of the Republic of Western Armenia, Lydia Margosian. During the meeting, the lady president presented the government's one-year plan. Ms. Lydia Margosian noted, 2024, on November 2, we will pay tribute to Mr. Agatangeghos. On November 2, 2024, we will pay tribute to Mr. Agatangeghos. On November 22, 2024, we will celebrate the 81st anniversary of the immortality of Leonid Asgaldian, our commander, and the 104th anniversary of the U.S. President Woodrow Wilson's arbitral award. On December 17, 2024, we will organize the 20th anniversary of the National Council of Western Armenia. The President of Western Armenia, Lydia Margosian, noted as well that our nation is in a struggle again, but today that struggle is a struggle for our generation. I want to say that it is a struggle made by our faith, love and consciousness. Glory to our ancestors, long live to our dear and beloved nation, long live to the Republic of Western Armenia. Lydia Margosian, the President of the Republic of Western Armenia. The 13th number of Western Armenia magazine was published. The new number includes articles dedicated to the Independence Day of Western Armenia. In the new number of the magazine, you can get familiarized with the Western Armenia and its symbols. In the 13th number of the Western Armenia magazine, you can get acquainted with the details of the session of the 3rd Convocation of the National Assembly of Western Armenia. In the new number of the magazine, as well as you can get acquainted with the Armenian queens who reigned in Jerusalem. The Armenian, English and French versions of the magazine can be downloaded in PDF format below. On January 28, the French ambassador to Eastern Armenia, Olivier de Cogniti, participated in the event dedicated to the Day of Army of Republic of Armenia. It was an honor to participate in the event dedicated to the Day of the Armenian Army together with the defense attaché. Armenians should be able to protect its sovereignty and its population, he wrote. It is also noted in the post that France expanded defense relations with Armenia in developing strategic closeness between the two countries. On January 28, the Japan-Armenian Friendship Association organized a presentation of photos taken by Japanese photojournalist Makio Matsumura in the corridor of Berdzor in Tokyo. Matsumura in 2023 visited Armenia in October and personally photographed the flow of Artsakh refugees to Armenia through the Berdzor corridor. This was reported by the Embassy of Eastern Armenia in Japan. Addressing the audience with a welcome speech, Ambassador Hovhannisyan thanked Japan, represented by Hideharu Nakajima, for organizing the exhibition and standing by Armenia in difficult times. He noted, what Mr. Matsumura recorded in his photos and showed to those gathered here was the inability of the international order and mechanism to force specific countries to act in accordance with international law. The ambassador noted and added that according to Azerbaijan's international obligation, the Berdzor corridor should be affairs, being an uninterrupted and safe connection between Armenia and Artsakh. Ambassador Hovhannisyan said that Armenia expects direct condemnation of Azerbaijan's illegal actions from democratic countries like Japan, thereby contributing to the establishment of peace in the South Caucasus. Every nation has personal names and place names specific to its mentality and linguistic thinking. There are personal names that are specific to the nations of this or that language family. This was the case in pre-Christian and pre-Islamic times, and it's partially preserved even now. However, the thoughts and concerns about the topic are deeper and painful for us Armenians. Until today, there are Turkish, Arabic, Persian roots in our surnames, which as a stigma are engraved on our national soul. What is the reason for the appearance of those foreign surnames among Armenians? By the way, in the text registers of those foreign countries, Armenians were not registered with the Armenian tribal name, but with a name in their own language that is understandable to the linguistic thinking of Arabs, Persians, Turks and Russians in accordance with the occupation of that country. The article on Armenian surnames is available on the website of Western Armenian TV. The Armenian Legion, the Dream of Kilikia and the Betrayal of the Alliance. A few facts about the Armenian Legion. On October 27, 1996, Boris Nubar, the head of the Armenian national delegation, reached an agreement with England and France to include Armenian and Syrian volunteers about the creation of Eastern Legion, which was supported to fight against Turkey under the suspense of France. Armenians are promised independence in Kilikia. From February to July in 1916, more than 1,200 Armenians in America joined the Legion. In August 1917, the training of Armenian volunteers and survivors of Mount Musa began in Kypros. In June 1918, Armenian volunteers joined the Allied State forces in Palestine under the command of British General Edmund Allenby. On September 1998, on the heat of Arara, the Legion defeated the German and Turkish forces led by Mustafa Kemal. From December 1918 to November 1919, British troops occupied Kilikia. Meanwhile, around 120,000 Armenian immigrants returned to Kilikia, convicted that they are under the protection of French and British troops. On August 4, 1920, Armenians declared the independence of Kilikia under the mandate of France. In response, French officers began disarming the Armenian Legion. On September 27, 1920, the disarmament of Armenian Legion was completed. Some volunteers remained in Kilikia to protect the Armenian population. On October 20, 1921, France recognized Kemalist Turkey in the Angora Agreement and agreed to complete the withdrawal of its troops from Kilikia. Armenians are killed or forcibly displaced. In Italy, the cultural genocide of our time, Yerevan, the presentation of the book The Destruction of Armenian Culture and History. On January 23, the cultural genocide of our time book was held in the press hall of the Italian Chamber of Deputies. The presentation of the book entitled Destruction of Armenian Culture and History. This volume, written by Antonio Arslan and Alto Ferrari, was published by Guerren Associati. Chairman of Italy Armenian Parliamentary Friendship Group, Guello Centemero, lecturer of Foscari University of Venice, Alto Ferrari, director of Risorgimento Central Museum in Rome, Marco Pizzo. On February 1, an event dedicated to the 105th anniversary of the creation of the Armenian Legion will be held at the office of the Republic of Western Armenia in Yerevan. During the event, the chairman of the National Council of Western Armenia, Armine Abrahamian, will present the glorious history of the Armenian Legion in detail. The main topic of the meeting in 1919, the Eastern Legion formed in the Armenian Legion after the liberation of Kilikia on February 1. The following question will also be discussed during the meeting. What kind of results of consequences did the recognition of Armenian statehood have in Western Armenia? And the second will question, and what are the consequences of the current Republic of Armenian policy? This was all for today. Goodbye.
Մամ ջան դուրը որդին քո կարոտած հերվից եկել է տուն Մամ ջան դուրը սրբիր աչքերը թած գրկիր դու քո որդուն Մամ ջան դուրը որդին Sir Peter